Hi, I'm Dr. Scott Watson, and I coordinate the Elementary Instrumental Music Program in the Parkland School District. We're pleased that your son or daughter is interested in learning to play a band instrument in fourth grade. We feel very fortunate in the Parkland School District to be able to offer this free instruction in school on how to play a musical instrument to every interested child. Your child will have one of 4 band teachers instructing them this year. At Fogelsville and Jandal schools, Mrs. Laura Kemmerer. At Ironton and Kernsville schools, Mrs. Kay Mank. At Parkway Manor and Schnecksville schools, Mr. Mark Sislow. And me, Dr. Scott Watson, at Citronia and Kratzer schools. Students will have a 30 to 35 minute lesson each week on the same day, normally. However, the lesson time will move a half hour later each week, rotating through the day, taking about a marking period to return to the original time slot. And this is so that when they're taking their lesson, they're not missing the same content instruction in school. The lesson schedule will be posted in the student's classroom and online. There is a website for each of the teachers listed here. And on these teacher websites, you'll find up-to-date information such as weekly lesson schedules, upcoming rehearsal and concert information, and other valuable resources. Some tips on home practice. We recommend that you establish a routine, making it part of the student's homework schedule. Practice as often as they can. We realize some weeks there may be a lot of activities, but other weeks may be lighter and they can fit in more practice. When it comes to practice, repetition is the key. It's just like exercise. You either use it or you lose it. So while they're practicing, they should repeat the same thing, drill it a couple times, and they should try to spread their practice out throughout the week so that they get multiple sessions rather than one session. But again, we can be flexible. We just understand that the more they practice, the greater they'll learn and grow. We recommend that they try to find a quiet place free from distractions, so not in front of the television or not while brothers and sisters are playing video games right in front of them. We circle assignments in their book, and that's primarily what they should practice rather than, say, a song they may have already learned that they really love. If they practice that for 20 or 30 minutes, it's not as useful as practicing what we've assigned for that week. So while it's great to review music that's been mastered, it's even better to keep pressing forward with assigned materials. A strategy we'll show the students in their lessons is to isolate tricky spots, like circle a couple measures of music that are especially challenging, and then repeat that at a slow tempo, 3 to 5 times over and over again. We call that drilling, and it's very helpful. We'll give some kind of a practice chart or practice log to the students after their first or second lesson. We don't want this to be a burden to parents. We want the students to complete how many minutes they've practiced a day. So they simply would write a number like 20, 20, or 30, 30 minutes for that day. So that would take a second to do for them. And then at the end of the week, one time a week, they would bring it to the parents just to review it. Like, hey, Mom, here's what I've practiced. And then Mom would put their initials. And again, that should only take a couple seconds. So we don't want this to be a big burden. But it does help us know if they're putting the time in they need to. So for instance, say a student is practicing diligently and they're putting in pretty much time, 20 to 30 minutes a day, and they're still having an issue, then we can arrange to maybe meet with them during recess or after school and try to get to the bottom of what's holding them up. But if they're having an issue and they're not practicing very much at all, that would also be clear on the practice log. Some things parents can do, and again, we don't want this to be a burden, but occasionally if you could listen to your child practice, they'll get a kick out of it. They'll love playing a concert for you at home. Hey, Mom, I just learned this song. And take time to stroke them and say, hey, great job. Be enthusiastic and encouraging. The novelty will wear off. I always say to parents, after a couple weeks, usually the honeymoon's over, and then practice becomes similar to homework. Just if it's something that you and they take the attitude, hey, got to do it, just like I got to do my math homework, that's probably a great attitude. It keeps them plugging away. But then there'll be some cool things like when they learn songs they like that they'll be very encouraged about. So playing is fun. Practicing is kind of like homework. It can be work. So keep encouraging them, to do as much as they can during the week. We talked about the practice chart. and just how important it is to have a supportive parent behind this whole endeavor. These instruments are, not toys. They should be handled with care. Some of them have fragile parts, like the reed, the piece of wood that goes on the end of a clarinet or saxophone, for instance, is fairly fragile, and we don't want them to break that. So it teaches students responsibility. We ask them to store their instrument in the case, not just leave it on the bed, so that you could sit on it and break it. Play with clean hands and mouth. So if a student's just eating a meal, maybe they can rinse their mouth out or brush their teeth. Instruments shouldn't be left in school. There might be one or two exceptions to that, so maybe I shouldn't have said never, but by and large, the instrument cannot be secured in school. At nighttime, there's activities, people in the building, things like that. We do not want them to leave these instruments out in the hallways at school, rather, overnight. Rather, we want them to take them home so that way they have them to practice. But like I said, there may be a couple exceptions when there's an in-school concert the next day and they've just had a rehearsal at the end of the day. A teacher might say, you can all leave your instruments in the band room or something like that. There's a DVD, very helpful DVD that comes with the book we use, which is called Sound Innovations, and it contains helpful, so for instance, on the DVD there are videos of how to hold an instrument, how to produce a sound, form an embouchure, which is how you form your lips to blow on a wind instrument. So those things, a student might say be absent and miss a week when we introduce how to make an initial tone on the instrument, but they could look at the DVD and discover what they missed. So we really recommend that you check that out with your child. If the instrument does break, contact one of us, the instrumental teachers, and we'll take a look at it. Many of you will be renting from Zeswitz, and Zeswitz Music from Reading comes to the district every single week. One day a week they come and they pick up instruments that need to be repaired. Their rental plan includes a maintenance and repair sort of clause. They'll do those repairs for free for you, so you don't have to pay. If you have the instrument, say the student drops it down the stairs and it completely breaks, if they're renting from Zeswitz, Zeswitz will fix it for free. They'll come and pick it up, and they'll leave a loaner instrument that the student can use while their instrument's getting fixed. And then usually the next week they'll return the instrument repaired. A couple of you will be using Parkland School District instruments. Those are usually larger instruments like the baritone, tuba, and tenor sax, sometimes French horn as well. Those instruments, again, contact the child's teacher. We'll make the arrangement to have those Parkland School District instruments fixed. And then a couple of you are using your own instruments, maybe an instrument that's been in your family or that you've acquired on your own, which you're welcome to do. Renting from another store, you'll have to take it to that store. Or if you own the instrument, you're welcome to contact us for recommendations of local repair shops, and also Zeswitz, which visits the school once a week, would be glad to repair those instruments as well. Like I said, as a convenience to parents, the Parkland School District has been endorsing the Zeswitz Music of Reading for about 40 years, I believe more than 40 years. We believe their trial period rental is a very low-cost way to get an instrument that's a good quality instrument into the hands of children, and we like their maintenance and repair agreement, so they'll fix the instruments that you're renting. But if you ever have a concern, here's their phone number, and you can visit them online. Also, those of you renting from Zeswitz, the way to go is to fill out the rental form online at their website, because when you come to our open house meeting to pick up the instrument, it'll save you about 25 or 30 minutes rather than filling out a form while you're with us and having to stand in a line. You'll be able to basically say, here's my name. They'll have a record of it if you did it online, and you can pick it up and leave and free up your night. So it's a real time saver to order online. Once students start playing, we'll give them an opportunity to play. Their debut concert will be at the end of 4th grade, usually in May. Some schools might be early June, but mostly in May. The second year, we hope they'll continue in 5th grade to play. There's actually 2 concerts they can participate in, our holiday concert or our winter concert in December, and then again at the end of the year, a district-wide 5th grade concert. So that'll be the first time they get together with students from other buildings, and we all convene at Parkland High School's lovely auditorium and do this big district-wide 5th grade band and strings concert at the end of 5th grade. It's a great way to cap off their elementary years, and it's a highlight really of the year for all the students in the schools. There's also a summer elementary band camp in August. It's usually the first week of August, And at this summer camp, we meet the kids for 1 week, just do some, sectional and full band rehearsing. At the end of the week, we put on a concert for parents. Near the end of the week, we have a make your own Sunday party. There's musical games every day, and there's even an elective period where students can explore things like playing solos in small ensembles, or playing in a jazz band, or composing and arranging in the computer lab. So there's some neat electives too. That's our summer elementary camp. Anyway, check the district calendar for all these dates and more. Here are some pictures of the top left picture is of us rehearsing on the stage at Parkland High School with our 5th grade district-wide band and strings. Top right is the elementary band camp rehearsing in the auditorium. The ones on the bottom are building concerts, 4th grade building concerts, where we have a lot of fun. We assume that your son or daughter is studying an instrument just because they think it's going to be a fun thing to do, and it will be. And I think you'll really enjoy seeing them grow as musicians. But there are a lot of other benefits listed here, such as increased performance in school and development of certain parts of the brain, the way it teaches discipline, concentration, responsibility, time management, also a way that students can learn to express, burn off some steam, give them a sense of achievement. It's one way to learn to appreciate the arts actually by making art. As my father-in-law, who is playing his trombone and he's nearly 80 years old, but he plays in a community band, would tell you, it's a lifelong journey that can provide many enriching opportunities. So music teaches 21st century skills, which will prepare students for success in the competitive global economy. And we're so glad again that you're allowing your child to participate in our band and strings program. And if you have any questions, just contact your instructors. Thanks for taking this time to learn about our program.